they cast out, they ain't no more good. But you are still good, and you are still valuable to him, your creator, and to a lot of other people too. And, you just got to recover. You just got to recover. It's not that things are not going to happen in your life, because they are, and they're going to continue to happen. Even at my stage in the game, the things continue to happen to me all the time that are adverse, that are not really, I'll be thinking, man, I had about enough of that, and then here comes something else again. Well, it's not that things are not going to happen. It is simply how you handle the things that happen that determines where you are. And you got to understand that when you have these mistakes and these setbacks in life, it's not permanent. It's just happening now. You've got to somehow, and I know this is the hard part, but you've got to somehow keep your eyes on the prize. See, it's better to deal with what's happening to you now if you're constantly aware of where you're going. If you lose sight of where you're going, the present seems to be the definitive moment for you. I look back on some pretty tough times. Let's take one of the toughest times. When I was staying in my car, there were times when I wanted to give up. There were days, man, when I thought, well, maybe that dream of being on TV and being one of the premier stand-ups in the country, that little dream I had, that maybe it just ain't meant to be. And what I was doing at that moment was I was allowing the present set of circumstances to be my defining moment, because I was so caught up in the how to survive just right now, today, tomorrow, that I stopped, on occasion, I stopped looking at the future. And it seemed pretty dark and dismal for me a few times when I really, really thought about cashing it in, walking the road. But at the same time, I had this dream. I had this vision of what I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. Now, understand me clearly. Where I am today, I did not see coming. I want to be clear about that, because I don't want you to think that while I was in my car, I saw all this that's happening in my life now, because I didn't. Clearly, I didn't. I didn't see this far. I just knew while I was in my car, I wanted to become one of the premier stand-ups in the country, and hopefully I'll get on TV. That was the dream from a kid, to be on TV. To be on TV and do what? I had no idea. I never dreamed of a sitcom. I just wanted a show. And so, as life kept turning for me, and I hit that stretch in the road where it looked like I wasn't gonna make it and I'd give up, and I did think about giving up. And I even got in my car one time to drive back to Cleveland and ask my father if I could just stay at his house, which I knew was like the golden rule. You can't come back, man. You gotta keep cutting it. That was my father's rule. When he kicked you out the nest, he said you got to fly. I understood that. I was perfectly cool with that, because the one thing my father was about manhood, making it happen, working hard, never giving up. So he wasn't about to allow me to. But I was thinking about driving back one day, and then a series of things happened. But the one thing, at the same time that I was feeling dismal, at the very same time, it's a funny thing about faith. You don't need a lot of it. You just need a little bit. I just kept with the hope, man, that something could happen. Because when I turned my car around out of Florida, I was going, it was on the 10, I was going to go down up on 65 and just head north till it turned into 71. And then I just go home, man. I made a phone call. And I usually had answer machines back in the day, and I got a gig that changed my life. They asked me to come to be on Showtime with the Apollo, and that changed my life. And I didn't even have the money for that to happen. And so I wasn't going to be able to go. And then on phone ring, I would call back my answer machine, and right behind that, an agent left the money and sent me to Jacksonville, Florida to perform for $150. And now I had the money to go to New York. And I was on Showtime at the Apollo, and that didn't cure it all, but that started a landslide of events. But it is because I maintained just enough faith, just a little bit, and I just kept being willing to put one more foot in front of the next. And sometimes, man, that's what it takes, is putting your foot in front of the next foot, not really knowing where you're going, not really having a concise plan about it either. I know exactly how I'm going to get to become one of the premier stand-ups, and I know exactly how I'm going to get on TV. No, you don't. Who is that? Who knows the exact way? As a matter of fact, the way is so troubling. The way to where you really want to go is so fraught with pitfalls and setbacks that's why God don't tell you which way you got to go. Because if God told us which way we had to go to be successful, we'd all turn back. Because if you had told me back then that I was going to have to go through all I've gone through to get to where I am today, I would tell you, no, sir, thank you. Let me try something else. How about growing tomatoes? That's got to be simpler. And I won't have to face all this adversity. And people that sell tomatoes still make cool money living, I guess. Work hard at it. I can, hustle up some money out of that. I'd have really went the other way. Because that's why God doesn't reveal